and I'm going to start. Thank you so much, President-elects and interested folks. We have a few other people on the call today. My name is Billi Black, and I am the DCO, District Communications Officer. So if you have questions about DAC-DB, or Rotary Club Central or Brand Center or any of those technical pieces, I'm your gal and I'd be glad to help you. It's typically better if you send me an email. I can do a research and then I'm able to give you a call then and we can walk through it and help you. So I am going to share my screen and we're going to get started. Today's topic is Rotary Club Central. And I'm going to have to get rid of this so that it's not in my way. So when you get to rotary.org, so you type in rotary.org and you come up here to sign in. There's also a sign in down here. If you have never signed in to My Rotary, you have to register for an account. Use the email address that you have in DAC-DB, and then it'll ask you to create a password, so you can be anything you want as long as you remember it. And then it will send you an email for you to click on once you get the email, and then you can carry on from there. So it's a two-step process. Let's see, I'm going to have to mute everybody. If I get out of here. And or if everybody can mute themselves, that would be even more helpful, because I can't seem to get it. There we go. Well, you all did it yourself, so now I can get out of here. So once you are logged in, I'm going to sign in, and I have a sign in for my club president. She's kind enough to let me use her account. I'm an officer of the zone. I'm on the zone public image team. And so when you look at My Rotary, it wouldn't look like your My Rotary looks like. So I wanted to get a president or a president-elect to sign in. Once you're here, you can go to manage and you can not see it. Let's see. See, I don't get to it this way. So I'll show you how I get to it. I scroll down halfway and you see online tools. And this is where you find Brand Center, Rotary Showcase, the Learning Center that I want you all to be aware of today, and Rotary Club Central. The majority of our day we're going to spend in Rotary Club Central. So click on Rotary Club Central. Occasionally it will ask you to sign in again, but I think we've about gotten rid of that double sign in. Are you still seeing my screen, Ken? Okay. Ken, if you could unmute yourself and tell me if you can still see my screen, or tell me if it.
Yep, that was what the thumbs up was for. Yes.
Oh, well, see, I've put all your pictures away so I can see the whole screen. Notice now I'm in as the Rotary Club of Franklin Daybreak, and this is what we call the dashboard. And the dashboard gives you your trends, so you can look back and see from 15, 16 onward. Notice that we have stayed about steady in our male and female. This is how many we've had. So we stay fairly stable. The age trends are kind of interesting. The age trends, notice we have one unreported. If you put your year of birth in DAC-DB, it allows you to see a realistic picture of your club. Notice that we have the majority of our people in the 50 to 59, which is a good range to have. If most of your people are 70 or older, you're in trouble and you need to start populating the rest of this. And then there's more trends for your volunteers and your annual fund, so you can look through your trends. I'm going to go pretty quickly, so I want you to come back in yourself and look at it. The global view, I do not ever touch. I did it one time and I froze my computer up because it's looking at every Rotary Club in the world. And I live in the mountains where internet connectivity is not very good. So it was going out there and trying to collect all that data. So unless you have a really zippy computer, I wouldn't go to Global View. Goal Center is where we're going to spend our time. You need to set your goals for your Rotary Club, and now is a good time to start. Here again is my club, and notice it gives you the year. You all will want to go to the next year, and no goals are selected for this category. And see, it's not going to let me do any of this because I am not the president and I'm not signed in as a president for this year. So you all, being president-elects, should be able to see 2021. I'm going to go back to 1920 and show you what it looks like, but you'll want to make sure that you put your goals in on 2021. Now, under members and engagement, you see the tabs across the top. So I'm at members and engagement. You can click on edit to change anything. So I'm going to click on edit and go down. Club membership. If you're not sure what this means, then you can click on show details and history. So it says, how many total members does your club want by the end of the Rotary year? That's the question you're asking yourself. And you can look very quickly to see where you have been to make sure you have a realistic goal. So I'm going to come back up, and I'm not going to change Teresa's goal. She had a goal of 38, and we're at 39, which is awesome. And notice there's a little checkbox here. You can come through and check the goals that you would like to achieve. There are probably about 42 goals, I believe, altogether. So you don't necessarily have to do all the goals. Don't try to kill yourself trying to do all the goals in here. Pick the ones that you think your club can achieve and do those. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to hide this goal history. Service participation, she selected that. And again, you say, what is that? And notice there's nothing in the achievement. How did we know this 39 is our achievement? Well, Rotary has the statistics of how many people are in our club, but Rotary does not have your statistics on service participation. There is no way for them to know how many people participate in your club. So let's see what that question is. How many members will participate in club service activity during the Rotary year? And that's a total. And let's look down. And notice we didn't put anything in 14-15. We put a few in, and we weren't so good here, but we got better in 17-18 and so forth. So we had 100 out of 35. I don't know how you could possibly get 100 members out of 35, but that's what we put. So now, right now our goal is 38. In other words, we want everybody to participate in service projects. So as our achievement, I'm going to put 38 because the last service project we did, we had everybody there. And I simply type that in.
Billy.
Yes, sir.
We cannot see the right-hand columns, but I can't because the pictures are visible there. Can we reduce that and then come back to it?
Can you reduce the picture?
There's a column of pictures of the participants.
Right, at the very top of the pictures of the participants is a minimize, a maximize, and another box. If you choose the one that looks like a subtraction sign, it should make it go really small. Did that work?
It says hide thumbnail video.
There you go, hide thumbnail.
All right, let me mute myself first.
Okay, and you can always get back to unmute yourself by going to the bottom of the screen and hovering there. Alrighty, I'm assuming that worked for him since he didn't come back on. And then you just keep going down. We selected this goal. How many members are going to sponsor a new club member? And so you have to think about that. How many do you think will sponsor a new member? And we've actually had 5 people sponsor new members this year. And let's come down here. Notice this is sort of grayed out. That's because we decided not to encourage anybody to join a Rotary Action Group. We chose not to do this goal. If you want to do a goal about Rotary Action Group, you select the goal And now it's highlighted, and then you put what your goal is. So let's see again what the question is. How many club members will be members of at least one Rotary Action Group? So it might be 2 or 3. I am not going to put anything in there. I'm going to take out the check mark because my president will not be happy if I change her goals. And you just go down through and check the boxes, and then you'll want to come back and make sure that you put your achievement in. Now, I don't know how we're going to, I guess because we're not having a district conference, that's going to be 0. We may have to come in at any time. You can take the check out of the box. And then that's not one of your goals. But again, I'm not going to do that because this is not, I am not president this year. But go all the way through. This time of the year, come in and show your achievement. This counts as a district training participation. So you have at least one person that has done training. So you could put 1 when you're going in through there, but you'll want to get everybody or as many as possible. Okay, so we went through members and engagement. I'm just going to slightly fly low over the rest of these. Foundation comes in from another place in Rotary, so they know exactly how much we have already donated. So our goal was 6,000, but we've already donated 11,000, so we've hit that goal. Our goal for polio was 1,500. We've already contributed to that. So again, just like we did with the membership, you select your goal, then put it in, and then in the case of foundation numbers, it comes in automatically. And this is United States dollar. How many people are going to give major gifts? And we actually have a major gift, so I'll have to figure out how to make that show 1. And how many bequest societies and how many benefactors. So that's how you do the foundation. There's a young leaders, a public image, and this is the Rotary Citation. So I'm going to go to the Rotary Citation and show you as you come down. These are the goals for your Rotary Citation. And so you'll want to check the ones that you want for your citation. And again, read carefully what the question is. And then when you finish and complete it, you come here and move the button over and make it green. So that lets Rotary know that you've done that. They have no way of knowing your achievement for many of these things. So you've got to come in here and indicate your achievement. Now, the one I skipped over is service. And service has a few goals, but just 1 in this case this year. And it says, service project, how many service projects will your club complete? And we hope to have 3. Our achievement is only 1. And where did they get that achievement? Well, they got the achievement by coming over here to service activities. So you click on service activities, and it's reminding me that I'm about to leave the Goal Center and I have it saved. So are you sure you want to leave the Goal Center? I'm going to say no. But I don't want to save because if I made any changes, I don't want to have them, but I'm going to cancel. Your changes, are you sure you want to cancel? Yes, because I don't want to change any of her goals. So I'm going to come down to service activities. And this is where the power of Rotary is shown, because we come in here and enter our service projects and we can put how many dollars we spent, how many dollars in kind that we spent, how many volunteers, and how many volunteer hours. For years, Rotary said, we're a powerful organization and we have many people out there doing good in the world. Now we can say we have 7,845,000 volunteers working in Rotary and spending up to $5 million doing good in the world. We can actually quote what we're doing, but only because they come in here and add it all up. So here are our projects for 1920. I have entered maintaining the greenway and fill the bag. Those are the 2 that we've already done. If you want to add a new service project, you simply click on this button. And if you have been logging your service projects, you can repeat a past service project. So here are our projects from the past. So if we were going to do Safety Town, I click on it and copy the project. It brings it forward from last year with all my words in it. So I have to come back and make sure that it still is pertains to what really happened. Put your start date and your end date. And when your project is completed, you have to come over here and physically move that button to say the project is complete. Then this is where the value of Rotary is shown. When you're planning, how much did we project? How many volunteers did we project? And here is how many we actually had working on the project. How many volunteer hours did these people put in? What do you project it? And then what were your actual? Again, your cash contributions projected and your actual achievement. And then more details such as categories. So it might be international, community, a fundraiser, and if you had any partners. And it doesn't ask you who your partners are, just that you had them. So perhaps you're working with other Rotary clubs on a meal packaging event. So you would just say Rotary clubs, and that's all that they want. So that's all there is to it. And then come back up and make sure that you click on complete project. I'm going to take this out of here and I'm going to cancel. But the last thing you do before you leave this screen is to come up here and save so you don't lose your data. But since I don't want to add to the data, I'm going to cancel this. One of the neat things that we're going to do again next year with Stephanie, who is our director, is to do the 10 million meal project. And this is how you indicated that you participated in the 10 million meal project. You come in, you log a project, but you start out with 10 million and then your title, and then you put in, and let me show you what it looks like. I didn't put it in. I just projected because we're not finished. This is a project that we didn't get finished doing. But when we put that 10 million in front, then Rotary adds it all and sends it to Stephanie. How many dollars, how many people, and how many meals were projected during that fill the bag. And I am going to save what we had in there, but that's how you do service projects. Let me stop here and turn you guys back on. Are there any questions on setting goals and service activities?
Billy, this is Bill Swift.
Hi, Bill.
How did you move? Like I'm looking at the 2019-20 managed project screen.
Yes.
How do you, if you
see the little arrow? See that arrow?
Yeah.
That's
okay.
all you do is get to, and when I do that, you don't see anything because I'm not signed in as the president-elect. You will be able to.
If I go back, it says add a new service project. Repeat past service project. Okay, that's
right.
What I'm trying to find is how to move all those projects that we do every year.
Exactly, and all you do is click on repeat past project and it brings it up without the volunteer hours. It does tell you how many you had actually for the last year. So while you're estimating, it will give you an estimate, but it's really nice if presidents before you fill this out. Yes, I hear another question.
Billy, this is Penny Hamby.
Yes, Penny.
I'm feeling very challenged today, and I cannot figure out how to even enter a goal. So I've got it brought up on my computer. What your screen says: Rotary Club of Granite Falls with members engagement, Rotary Foundation giving.
Yes.
And I switched it to the year, but I don't know how to go in and I don't know how to go in and add a goal.
Okay, I should have gotten error on my part. Ken, remind me next year if I do this, I need to get a login of a president-elect. I would think that right here you would have a edit button right here, a big green edit button. Do you have one?
No, ma'am.
Let me look back here. Oh, right here. See the edit button on mine?
I see yours, but I don't have it.
Now go to 1920.
Okay, on 1920. No, ma'am, I don't have an edit button.
Well, on 2021, do you have an edit button?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Penny, are you a co-president?
I am a co-president. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll have to check in DACDB. This is the reason we encourage people not to have co-presidents, but if you are a co-president, then the person you tell Rotary is your president needs to be the one to put the goals in. So I may have to change who we set first,
Okay.
because that person has the rights to change the goals, and they will
Okay.
only they will only accept one. So that's a great question, because we have a couple clubs with that same situation. And I'll write down myself a note, Penny,
Okay.
and check DACDB and then get back with you. You should
Okay,
have an
great.
edit button there.
Okay.
Bill Swift, when you look at yours for Franklin, do you have an edit button here?
No, what it's got over on the left, it'll have a green save button and then
Okay.
a red cancel button, and then it lists it shows, like, if you go to club membership
Yes.
as your first goal, it's got a box all the way over to the right that says select goal.
Okay. All righty.
Click
So
that.
I think
Then-
it'll be
then that-
intuitive,
then it
Penny.
turns-
I'm sorry, Bill.
and then that goal goes from gray to white,
Yes.
and it allows you to actually put your cursor in the goal box, and you can enter a number there. So you
Excellent.
could enter, like,
So Penny, I imagine if you're not getting any of those pieces, it's because Rotary doesn't know that you're president-elect.
Okay.
So we'll see if
Okay.
we can't fix that. Anybody
thank
else have problems here?
I had one other question, Billy.
Yes.
Which is the more accurate number for number of real members in your club, DACDB, or what's on Rotary Club Central?
I try to keep our DACDB exactly matching Rotary, but I do it once a month, so it may be slightly off. But this number should be the accurate number right here, club membership. And we have to go by what Rotary.org says.
Okay, so if I switch it to 2019-20,
Yes.
the actual, that'll actually show.
That
That-
achievement
that
is how many you have right this minute.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
And this dashboard, shows you history. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I'm going to move on because I just want two more pieces before we move on. Resources is awesome. They have put everything all in one space. This is general. So if you don't remember how to set a goal in Rotary Club Central, what we just did, this is a really cool PDF that just shows you step by step. And it may not be coming up because I've just changed screens, but it comes up with a PDF and has step by step. Go here, do this, how to report progress, how to record service activities, and how to view information. So that's general. And then as you come down, it has membership. Membership health check is sort of like a survey for your club. Membership leads, so how to manage that. Club flexibility, so all kinds of great documents for you to read in your leisure time, but it will really heighten your experience as a president if you come through and actually look at some of these things. These are best practices. And here's some giving, foundation giving, and public image resources. So great resources. Spend some time looking at that. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with that because what I find interesting may not be interesting to you. But I like this one. This is Rotary Videos. And these are videos that you can use. It says to educate your community, but they're nice little videos to show at a club meeting to inspire your membership. Okay, now I'm going to go to reports because this is where I'm often asked, where do I find that report? Here's your club growth. Here's your club membership profile. You can see district growth, who meets on what day, what club meeting days, goals set, clubs in my district, all that kind of information. These are reports. Here's your Rotary Foundation giving reports, and this is my favorite report, and I'm hoping it's going to come up, and I'm hoping that you're going to be able to see it, because this is the one that is most useful this time of the year. And of course, my internet's going to be slow, but there we go. it allows you, you choose the year and you move it over to this box and say, okay. And it brings up my club and everybody's name. If they're new, they don't count towards giving. If they're not, it says they're a member. And let's look so you can see TRF giving achieved. That means they have the minimum giving achieved. They have E-Ray, every member, every Rotarian every year has been achieved. And now this is the $100 level. And in my club, the expectation is everybody will give $100. So I know they gave at least $25. So I could call up Jeffrey and say, Jeff, is it your intention to give $100 this year? And if so, would you give the final bid? Would you look back and see how much you've given and give the rest? So that during this time of the year is a really good time for you to kind of clean up those people that have not given the last little bit. And it's not very many phone calls, you notice. And this tells you if they're Paul Harris Society, which means they've given 1,000. And you notice that my club has one person away from being 100% TRF, one person away from E-Ray, and we're pretty far away from our $100, so we're going to have to do some work. But I find that this report is most useful. I'm going to get out of that real quick. And then this is service. And I don't know why it's under service, but many people ask me where their Interact Club, where they'd find their Interact Club number, goal history and things like that. If you click on this listing of club sponsored organization, it gives you your Interact or Rotaract that Rotary has. Now, if it's not listed here, then you need to work with the youth person who is Ron Rhodes this year out of Silva, and it will tell you who he will help you. Now, we had one at LBJ, and that has been terminated. That's a Rotaract Club. And here's the Interact Club. We share one with the Franklin Club. It's the Franklin High School Rotaract. And we do not have any Rotary Community Corps. That's where you go to find that piece of information. Okay, so that's pretty, I've covered quickly the flying low of Rotary Club Central. Do you have any questions about Rotary Club Central? This bottom button was added, they told me, for me, because I whined so bad that you couldn't get back to Rotary from this screen. You had to log out and come back in again. But so that's the Billy button. Gets you back in. Questions?
Billy?
Yes,
Penny
ma'am.
Penny Hamby again.
Yes.
Under okay, for instance, for club reports, I had for club growth and club membership. Is that something that we needed to input all this information, or does this come from Rotary?
That comes from Rotary. That comes from Rotary.
Okay. Because I had looked up members in a club, and I don't see anything about our club in this as far as members.
Huh. Well, you and I can look at that offline because I'm going to have to talk to you anyway. Members and club. Okay.
Yes, okay.
All righty. Now, I want to take you back here because the other place that you may need to come is manage and club administration. Now, we have DACDB, so we're very fortunate in that DACDB brings forward all kinds of information. But this is where you find your club invoice, edit invoice preferences, like where it's going to go, update membership data. Here's where you could edit or add or remove members. But if you do it in DACDB, it is ever so much easier. So I'm just showing you where it could possibly be. This is to remove club officers, do it in DACDB, update club data. Again, it moves up from DACDB, but membership leads does not. So here are membership leads, and you'll hear more about that from Philip Reed. And then here's Rotaract. I'm getting a lot of questions about Rotaract as we start more Rotaract clubs. Here's where you can add or remove Rotaract members. And we're just starting to put them in DACDB and making that connection, opening a portal. So keep watching this if you have a Rotaract club and work with me to get that working. But you may also come here and read the help. Don't read their satellite club. We don't do it that way in our district, so just ignore that. But most of that club administration is done in DACDB, and it's done easier, and we can see it. Like, I can't see if you put something in this page, but I can see it if I'm working at DACDB, and I can help you. So any other questions on Rotary Club Central?
You know, I've just got a basic question here.
Yes.
I mean, Rotary in general just, you know, seems, the phrase that was so resonant with me at Pets was drinking from a fire hose.
Yes.
In sitting through this, I'm having those same deja vu moments. What, could you just step back a second,
Yes.
step out of the weeds, and just help us understand if we've got something that we need to do? Is there kind of a shorthand rule of thumb that would help us understand whether or not we start first in DACDB or whether we start here? I mean, why are there two different websites? And what's the, you know, kind of, what's the rule of thumb that says, oh, we got to do this, so, or this needs to be done, so that's a DACDB thing, or this needs to be done, and that's a Rotary.org thing?
That's a really great question. And Ken, that's something maybe you and I could work on for next year's president-elects. That's an awesome. For the most part, I would say start in DACDB. The only thing that you can't do in DACDB that you can do in Rotary.org are set your goals and see your reports. There's also Brand Center. So there's big things that you can't do in DACDB. But what I always tell people is that Rotary.org is for the world. People in India come in here and choose Hindi for their language. And people from Germany come in, people from Korea come in. So this has to be more universal, Rotary.org does. DACDB is for us. It's our district and club database, club members, club officers, reports of all kinds. But remember that we don't send our money to DACDB. We send our money to Rotary.org. So they're the ones that would be able to tell us how much foundation money we've got and whether we've paid our dues.
So is DACDB just for our district, or is it the whole country?
It is for our district, but many districts also use it. Everybody in Zone 33, and that's from, it used to be from West Virginia across Washington, D.C., and down to Georgia, are all on DACDB. Zone 34 is on DACDB except for a couple of the islands. They're in Club Runner. So that makes it more difficult for them to communicate together. But I can communicate with all of you with one selection.
Yeah.
So I can't do that in Rotary.org.
So the default, so, okay, thank you. That's very helpful. So generally the default is start with DACDB, and then there may be a few things where only Rotary.org is going to be the place, but for the most part, we're going to be able to do this in DACDB.
I would say so. And maybe, Ken, when we make that list for next year, maybe we should put the things that cannot be done any place but Rotary.org is the way we make the list.
Okay,
because
thank you. That's very
I
helpful.
do get that question a lot. You know, they say, I'm looking for my goals in DACDB. Well, you can't do your goals in DACDB. So, but I don't mind to help at all. That's a quick answer. And please feel free to use me. That's why I'm here. I promised I would be done in 30 minutes and I have finished. So I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to stop the share and stop the recording. If I can find the stop button. Well, there we go.